And it's just 6 days to JoyNews' national dialogue on illegal mining. This is the polls and coming up in the next few minutes. Minority in Parliament steps up opposition to government's plans to ban the importation of rice, fish and some 20 other items as they vow to restrict any and resist any attempt at all by the Trades Ministry to lay the legislative instrument which will now give legal backing to the policy. We'll get to the very latest as this afternoon trade organizations, 6 of them, have joined the opposition to the proposal, petitioning Parliament to reject this very legislative piece. We are live in the House where there's a lot of engagement prior to another attempt by government to lay this LI. Also, a variety of food items take over the precincts of the ministry's area as government targets national food security within 3 years following a 10% drop in food inflation in the last 3 months.
The maize, a lot of the cereals, the prices are dropping. Maize that used to sell at the same time last year for 300 cedis for 50 kg bag, now is 148 Ghana cedis. The maximum that you get is 150 cedis, which means that there's a 50% drop in the price of maize. And nobody's talking about it.
The Minister for Agriculture there pointing out what you need to know as we bring you sights and sounds from the exhibition ahead of Friday's Farmers' Day celebration. It's all coming up here on the Pulse, and marijuana use at an alarming rate and levels in Ghana and other African countries as authorities refocus their activities towards clamping down on the consumer traffic.
One finding is that marijuana is the most abused illicit drug, and this is no news because it has been so.
And these and more coming away here on the Pulse. The Pulse is always brought to you by Global Communities Dignity Low Affordable Safe Sanitation. Don't forget that we're on DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 125. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and myjoyonline.com. Such a pleasure to be with you. I'm Blessed Sugan. JoyNews is independent, fearless, and credible. Thanks for joining us. We'll bring you details shortly. And thank you for joining us this afternoon. The opposition to government's proposed legislative instrument to restrict the importation of 722 items including rice, fish and poultry has intensified. 6 business groups have formally petitioned Parliament to halt the laying of the legislative instrument. The groups under the umbrella name Joint Business Consultative Forum includes a petition which dated November 26, arguing that if passed, the law will now adversely affect the prices of goods and the free flow of goods and services and could also cripple businesses. We'll hear from all of these groups shortly, but first though, the minority has stepped up actually its opposition to the LI, vowing to resist any attempt to introduce this very LI in Parliament. Before we connect to our Parliamentary Affairs correspondent, let's first take you through a list of the items under consideration now as far as the import restriction is concerned. 22 or 3 in all items, but you see the spread there in terms of cereals, rice, we have some soft drinks, iron and steel, motor vehicles as well, also included in that list. We have canned tomatoes, also biscuits there, fruit juices, and it even goes to the extent of checking sugar and some other items as well, including ceramic tiles, clothing and apparel, noodles and pasta, knowing that, of course, that's also on the higher ascendancy in terms of demand. There's also soaps and detergents as part of the package, and cement as well, and some other animal and vegetable oils are now being controlled under this very laws. The reason for which concerns and tempers flared up last Friday when the Trades Minister attempted to lay the legislative instruments in Parliament, with the ministry minority, I should say, opposing this very measure. The minority argued that the LI, if passed, will benefit only a section of the new Patriotic Party members. chairman of the Trades and Industry, Trades and Industry Committee in Parliament, says some amendments have been made to this very document. Kweku Asante is our parliamentary correspondent, joining us more with updates on this. Kweku, thanks for spending some time with us. We've been following this ever since the controversy emerged in Parliament. I'm just wondering if there's a leeway now for government to lay this airline. Is there?
Well, none so far, Blessed. Government still has not been able to lay this regulation that is seeking to restrict the importation of more than 22 goods into the country. In fact, it is still on the order paper and it has not been taken yet. No mention of it has been made on the floor so far. The House is still debating the 2024 budget presented to Parliament and MPs just last week. But our understanding is that there is some jaw-jawing among the majority MPs to, as it were, impress on KT Hammond to tarry slowly, pull the brakes on this restriction regulation and try and get the buy-in of their colleagues on the majority side and the minority especially, and perhaps try and lay it in January or February when Parliament returns from their Christmas break. Because as we speak, the minority are not softening their tone. They are still opposed completely to this regulation that government is seeking to lay in the House, despite the majority leader having proposed some amendments. We understand some meetings were held on Friday to make these amendments. The Minister for Trade and Industry was advised to factor in these amendments into the regulation and then try and lay it today. It's past 3 o'clock now, and the House has not made any decision on that. And it does not appear that they would do so now. I'm trying to find the majority leader and leadership on both sides to try and get some comments on where this is headed. But as we speak, the resistance is still fierce and the minority are not going to allow this regulation to be laid in the House, as they've always said. The Speaker of Parliament himself is in the chair. And last week, when the minorities scuttled the plans one time, he had calls to advise both sides to try and work on this framework before they bring it to the House. And so from all the indication we are getting now, there's no there's no green light to KT Hammond to lay this. And in fact, he has not been in Parliament the whole of today. He normally comes in very early, but today he hasn't come in at all. And he does not have the green light to lay this regulation.
And there's the question as to whether or not this ally will survive, knowing that Parliament, of course, would need 21 days for that process to mature. If it is not laid today, Parliament is also rising in a few days from now. What's likely to happen?
In fact, the countdown actually began last Friday. As of last Friday, they were able to lay it. They would have gotten 21 days from then, 21 sitting days from then, till 22nd when Parliament will go on break. Because mind you, Parliament don't sit on weekends, and they normally sit from Tuesdays to Fridays. But because of the budget and its attendance activities, Parliament has been sitting on Mondays for now. So that would have meant that they would have gotten it. But because Parliament did not sit on that day, Parliament actually started on Friday, I beg your pardon. Because the LI or this regulation was not laid on the floor last Friday. It means that if it is laid today or tomorrow, Parliament would have to sit on Saturday and Sundays to be able to get the 21 sitting days and get it through, which is compounding the fears of KT Hammond. And every day that passes by without KT Hammond getting the approval or the buy-in of the minority to lay this regulation, he runs out of time. And that is why perhaps his colleagues in the majority, as in the information we are getting, are impressing on him to pull the brakes on this, engage in more consultation, and try again in January, late January or early February, when Parliament resumes from its Christmas break.
I see the questions about the possibility of some amendments to this very airline. To what extent will these changes affect what's been laid in Parliament now? And what's some of the items on that list, possibly, that might be waived by government?
If you look at the amendment that is being proposed so far, it has nothing to do with the items. In fact, government does not want to budge on any of the 22 or 23 items in the regulation, I should say. The amendment is proposing that there should be an additional layer to check the minister's power. Because if you look at this regulation, what it proposes is that if you do not get the permission or the written authorization of the trade minister, you cannot import into the country any of the 22 items. And if you are dissatisfied with the minister decision not to give you any license or to revoke your license to import, you can reapply to the minister, who may still decide not to grant you the permission. What the amendment is seeking to do is add an additional layer to say, then you can come to Parliament and Parliament can overrule the minister's edict. But the concerns MPs have shared is that Parliament may not be any less corrupt than the Trade Ministry may be. And in fact, so many times we're talking about import and export tax waivers, for instance, which is being dished out like confetti in Parliament. It is Parliament that has the right and the power to give out export and import tax waivers. And so many times they have been caused by MPs to raise alarm that some of the waivers are being given to friends and families of governments and cronies and what have you. So Parliament is not any better than the Trade Ministry. And that is why the minority say they are still opposed to that, even if that amendment is effective, because they believe it will not change anything. It just increase the bureaucracy. They say that this is a democratic state. Allow the ordinary Ghanaian to choose what rice he wants to eat and from where. Although there's an argument to be made to protect local industry, you don't have to take such measures now. If you come to a time when Ghana can produce rice to make Ghana self-sufficient, to act as it were, feed the entire country, you can make such a law. But for now, you do not even produce up to 30% of the rice you consume. And so if you do that, what is this going to happen is that a very, very few people who are rich and can convince the trade minister to give them authorization will be the only ones importing rice into the country. They can cause a monopoly, they can cause hyperinflation. And the minority have been quick to reference what happened in the 70s when the Adentan regime tried to do something like that. It was a complete disaster, and that is why they do not understand why in 2023, government will be seeking to go back on that route.
Kwaku Asante, parliamentary correspondent, joining us with the latest on this. Government is also indicating to us now that it is targeting to achieve national food security within the next 3 years, citing a notable 10% drop in food inflation over the past 3 months as evidence of progress. A Greek minister, Brian Achampong, has been speaking at the start of the exhibition of Ghana's agro sector at the ministries here in Accra today. Samuel Mbura has been monitoring that and comes through with this report. And we'll be getting through more on that for you shortly, plus some updates on how that program is faring, being the second time we're seeing the Ministry of Agriculture display such food items. We'll tell you more about it shortly. You're watching The Pulse on the JoyNews channel. We'll be right back. And you're welcome back. Let me bring in this time my colleague Samuel Mbura, who's been with the Greek minister throughout the day today as the ministry is now embarking on an exercise aimed at ensuring food security. Some items on display there, but exactly what has the minister said about this exercise?
So, Blessed, with the food variety that we had on display at the Greek ministry and the entire forefront or forecourt of the ministries were varieties of food from legumes, tubers, fruits from different parts of the country. So it is a platform that has been given to the farmers to market their produce from different parts of the country. So we have the agro-extension officers displaying them with the names and everything that matters. So the main aim is just to create that platform for potential investors to come and then take up these produce and then see how they can help them in packaging and also finding marketing platforms for them to market their produce. We know very well that the challenge in the country has to do with the fact that we incur more of post-harvest losses. So what can we do to ensure that some of these things are reduced? The farmer meets his or her cost, the capital that they are using, and also breaking even or making some profit. So this is actually a novelty. They've christened it the AgriFest. You know very well that building up to the Farmers' Day in December, this is actually the first time that they have to organize an exhibition in one region and the main event in another region. So after this is actually a week-long exercise building up to the main day, which is the Farmers' Day. So this is all happening in Accra.
So what are we seeing on the screens right now?
So we have different types of oil. You can see coconut oil. You can see some legumes. You can see some cereals. You can see some of the tubers and everything that you need. Everything Ghanaian.
Is that coconut oil too?
I think they've just panned through that. Yeah, and then some of the vegetable oils too is also on display for you. You go there, you get so many stuff. I can't list them actually. They are many.
Yes, indeed. And we can see from the shots that we have on the screens now. But let's talk about what the Agric Minister has been saying about this and what this is targeted at ensuring.
Well, we know very well the challenge as a country has to do with food security. And what the minister says is that, we import more of the grains and cereals, rice. You look at the importation of rice, the amount that we pump in to import rice. We know very well there's currently an LI before Parliament to regulate the importation of some of these products. So he is talking about the fact that Ghana, through the Ghana government, through his ministry, wants to achieve food sufficiency by 2028. That's 3 years' time. So they've already started touting their achievements from the last 3 months till now. He has indicated that they have been able to beat the food inflation by 10%. And then they are optimistic of achieving this particular goal. We can listen to him when he spoke to us after his tour of the exhibition.
And we invite everybody to attend the exhibition, follow the food plan that we have designed, follow the food security plan that we have designed, and you will see that every year. I think that we started in September. We have some milestones in December. We invite the country to come and see what we're able to achieve in December, and then follow the milestones that will lead us into our food security in 2028. And we believe that when we have done so, unemployment, because we're going to use youth to do the cropping, and that in itself is supposed to bring the unemployment situation down, and then assure us about food security. If you see what we did in the small trial that we did in the upper regions, their planting season, you realize that we have been able to bring the price of maize by 50%. And it's not just the maize, a lot of the cereals, the prices are dropping. Maize that used to sell at the same time last year for 300 cedis for 50 kg bag, now is 148 Ghana cedis. The maximum that you get is 150 cedis, which means that there's a 50% drop in the price of maize. And nobody's talking about it because you don't see it translate into the price of the ball of Kinky. It means that there's somebody in the middle who is pocketing the profit. But we are going to put things in place to ensure that the price reductions that we're experiencing at the farm gate is translated to the table. You also see that with the little efforts that we did to catalyze production up north, food inflation from July, where our 55% has now dropped to about 44%. Okay, so we have dropped about 10 percentage points in the last 3 months, which is August, September, October. Okay, food inflation is now 44%. So if we are in every 3 months, we're able to drop the food inflation by 10 percentage points that we have done. It means that in the next 12 months, food inflation will be in the lower teens. So our food security and our food resilience, and we are demonstrating it through this exhibition that what we are talking about that we intend to produce, we are already producing, and that is what is being exhibited.
Well, so it's clear now that that's the agenda of the ministry, but this is also leading into, the mega celebration, the Farmers' Day celebration, which of course will present the opportunity to also celebrate our farmers and what they've been contributing to national development. Any comment from the minister on ensuring the farmer welfare, because these are the people supplying and feeding the nation?
Well, the minister is of the view that that has already been done. A reason the Akufo-Addo government has been able to put out some of their strategies, mentioning the planting for food and jobs, getting them subsidized fertilizer, and then all that matters, giving them agric extension support and all that. So he is of the view that they can continuously improve upon it, but the farmers are already having some relief from this government, a reason they are getting the significant improvements in the food production, a reason he also cited that within the last 3 months they've been able to beat down food inflation by 10%. It is because they have put in place measures that are geared towards the welfare of the Ghanaian farmer, a reason they are able to hit this particular target. So they'll continuously put in more measures to assuage any challenge, whether it has to do with road infrastructure, it has to do with storage, whether it has to do with market and all that. So all that is in place according to the ministry to ensure that the farmer out there is catered for.
Okay, so what we're seeing now, if someone walks to the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, they'll be able to get some produce?
So it isn't the case that it has been turned into a market per se, but you get the different varieties of food and get to know where they are coming from, and then get the right people to contact to get the food in larger quantities. So it is not like a market that you go and say, I'm going to buy food, maybe tubers of yam and all that. These are just tons of that the exhibitors have put there, displaying their food and where you can get them to buy in larger quantities. So it is not a traditional market that they have created at the Agric Ministry, but an exhibition center for you to go and see, know where to buy what and when to get it to buy.
Now the Planting for Food and Jobs campaign itself and phase 2 of it as we're implementing. Any comment on the progress made so far?
Well, that the comment there's no any direct comment in that regard, but like I indicated earlier, has to do with the fact that they have been able to achieve some 10% reduction in food inflation. You know, over the time we have been seeing that the food inflation goes higher. That's why Brian Achampong was of the view that we're complaining that the size of the kinky that we eat has been affected because of the food inflation, but because they've been able to drop it down, there's no impact on it. The reason we are seeing stabilized food prices in the market, and also they think that now that they have done something to at least reduce the pressure on the farmers and also food from the farm gates, at least those who are also at the end of it should also reduce the prices. So all these achievements are attributed to the Planting for Food and Jobs policy. We know that this phase 2 of it was launched about a month or so ago at the University of Ghana, and the target is the youth. They want to use the youth more to go into this phase 2 of the Planting for Food and Jobs. The main reason is to, if not entirely kick out unemployment, reduce it drastically.
Samuel Mbura, my colleague, joining us with the latest from the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. Any announcement on the kind of reward the best farmer will be getting this year?
Not yet. They are still working that out, and maybe
we'll definitely get
days to come. Because we know this exhibition is like a week-long thing, so maybe in the course of it, we may get to know the prizes that are in stock for anyone who emerges the winner for this year.
Thank you. And it is a two-horse race between the PRO of the Energy Ministry, Kosi Obeng-Fosu, and also Deputy CEO of the National Youth Authority, Akosa Menu Kosi, as they two battle to lead the New Patriotic Party in the Adentan constituency. These two have stolen the spotlight as the third candidate. Wilfred Nate, polling station chairperson, struggles to catch up as we begin a build-up to the NPP's parliamentary primaries in the Orphan constituencies. We shine the spotlight on the Adentan constituency, where the race is heated. Kwekwa Santi of our Legal Affairs Desk now reports.
Adentan constituency remains one of the key battlegrounds in Ghana's political landscape. No member of parliament for Adentan has been re-elected since 2004, when the constituency was created. The NDC has won the constituency 3 times, while the NPP has won it twice. And as the NPP prepares to elect a candidate to represent it ahead of the crucial 2024 election, the race has become heated as 3 persons vie in to lead their party to unseat the incumbent NDC MP, Ademu Ramadan. PRO of the Energy Ministry, Kosi Obeng-Fosu, believes he is the party's best bet towards attaining this goal.
As number 1 indicates a leader. If you have chosen one, you're already in the league. It means you are one and all the others are behind you. You understand? And oneness in it forms unity. So it means I am a symbol of unity. I'm the one that can bring everybody together. In the issue of Adentan, anytime we are united, anytime we come together, we win. So we are far ahead. Because I said, we are winning this contest. And because of that, our focus now is the NDC. So we have advised ourselves that we are not going to antagonize anybody. We're going to speak the language of unity, love, and then ensure that we have peace so that we can win this
primaries successfully, and then go ahead to win the general elections, both for the presidential and then the parliamentary for the MP.
Kwesi Obinfosu says he speaks and understands the language of delegates more than any of his contenders. He is facing an uphill task as he goes against Deputy CEO of the National Youth Authority, Akosua Menu Kozi. She wants to be the first female MP for Adentan, but not only that, she believes she is the best person to lead the party to unseat Ademu Ramadan.
My campaign, one of the themes is the big tent. Why? Because the big tent is, as the delegates have said, a here. Everybody can come into the safety net of Kozi because she is welcoming, she's open, and she didn't take part in any of the divisive games that existed in 2020. And I believe that's the strongest selling point for me when it comes to that. And it also goes to what I believe is the dynamics. Again, it goes back to what they are crying out for, that let's give it to a female. Yes, there's been a parliamentary candidate who was female, but she didn't get the nod. But let's try it this time around, even when members of the opposition wished they had voted for a female as a parliamentary candidate.
The third aspirant, Winfred Nati, who is a polling station chairman in the constituency, cast himself as a grassroots candidate, but given his low popularity compared to Kwesi Obinfosu and Akosua Menu, who are all national figures within the NPP, some have said the race has become a two-horse race between Kwesi Obinfosu and Akosua Menu. The NPP is confident it will win Adentan because no MP wins twice, but it's obvious the quality and popularity of the candidate they elect will play a significant role towards this quest. It's a few days to the election, and the candidates are ramping up campaign with a number of social activities. So who wins? Time, as always, will...
And enrollment to the associate MA school in the GC municipality has dwindled over the period due to a lack of educational materials, including classrooms and also desks. This makes teaching and learning a daily struggle for the only school serving the enclave. As the intervention, the former national chairperson of the New Patriotic Party, Peter McMenu, has constructed a classroom block and an ultra-modern ICT lab for the school to improve education in the area. There's more in this report by Clinton Yeboah.
Without essential classrooms, desks, and educational amenities, students and teachers lack a designated and a conducive space for focused learning and teaching. Pupils in Asotwe MA school are compelled to share limited spaces on packed school desks, affecting their learning experience. Former national chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Peter McMenu, has commissioned the KG classroom block, 100 dual desks, and an ultra-modern, fully furnished ICT laboratory for Asotwe MA Basic School. Head teacher of Asotwe MA Primary School, Alberta Simpson, showing appreciation for the gesture, described the critical condition pupils and teachers endured.
We are a cluster of schools, and it was our KG block that was not completed. So sometimes people didn't even want to bring their children to our school. So now that we have gotten a completed block, it's painted, the place it looks very nice. And you know we are in the computer age, and we also have computing as a subject. So it's necessary that we get computers so that the children, as they learn the theory, they can also practice it, and it will go a long way to help them in their learning.
Peter McMenu is certain that infrastructure will help pupils find alternative creative learning spaces and improve their digital skills.
The Metropolitan Chief Executive, he sought my assistance, and readily, with education under our able leadership, Nana Dodanko Akufo-Addo and Dr. Abomey, it's been our trump card. So readily I accepted that I'll provide the additional desk, dual desk, for the remaining students who didn't have. So we came here today, donate the desk, and in addition, inaugurate an ICT lab I also built for the community, the Asutri community. So the computer lab is going to assist them delve into various aspects of life. And in this digital age, which our own Dr. Baumia has pioneered so well, children should not be left out so that they will become part of the digital community in Ghana and globally.
Reporting for JoyNews, Clinton.
And to the Ahafo area, where residents within the Ahafo North District in the Ashanti region say appeals to get their poor road fixed have yielded little results. The road have become unmotorable, affecting movement of food stuff from the district, which is mainly agrarian. Nanaya Ochima visited the area and comes through with this report.
According to the 2010 Population and Housing Census, only 35 kilometers of the 520-kilometer road is bad. Not much has been done since the time of the study. The roads here are dusty and rough for commuters. In rainy season, commercial drivers dread the area due to muddy nature of the roads.
When it rains, the road gets blocked. Vehicles are unable to move out or come into the community. Produce of farmers are stuck on their farms. Nothing moves here in the raining season. Sick people get stuck in their homes. We are unable to get them to the hospital.
According to the census, nearly 70% of the population are engaged directly or indirectly in agriculture. The farmers are faced with post-harvest losses due to the poor roads. Here are some affected persons.
We take loans for our farms, but due to the poor roads, our produce rot away on the farms. Tomatoes are always rotting away.
After years of complaints and appeals, an indigent of the area, Fosu Frimpong, is facilitating the reshaping of some roads. He called for government support to help fix the bad roads in the area.
I personally have been to more than 47 communities, but as a philanthropist and a businessman, you know that it is difficult. You cannot do everything. That is why we've selected 47 communities whose roads are very, very, very bad. And so for now, that is where we are starting from. I have been to every community in this municipality, and therefore I can testify to the bad nature of the roads in these communities. And that is why we have taken it upon ourselves to help alleviate the sufferings of our people.
Already, the philanthropist has lobbied for a telecom mast through GIFEC to improve network connectivity. Though many are excited about the reshaping of the road, they are expectant of government's intervention for tarring of the road.
And now the 2022 Kumasi Road Safety Report has identified tricycles and also motorcycles activities as major contributors to road traffic crashes in the metropolis. Public Relations Officer of the Pragia Okada Union of Ghana, Al-Shabat Al-Hassan Sidi, acknowledges the activities are infiltrated with unskilled and unqualified riders who are not under the direct and control of the union. To instill professionalism, the union says it will now henceforth issue special identity cards to members who have undergone training with the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority.
The number of reported road traffic crashes in Kumasi rose from 1,255 to 1,550 from 2021 to 2022, representing a 24% increment. Studies of road injury risk factors on selected corridors found that 30% of drivers in Kumasi, including Praja and Okada riders, were observed speeding. Tricycle riders were recently restricted from plying the Kumasi Central Business District to ease congestion and reckless driving. The Praja Okada Union is ready to enforce mandatory identification tags for members to curtail the rampant road infractions. According to the Public Relations Officer Al-Asbat Al-Hassan Sidi, 65% of tricycle riders in Kumasi are without identity, hence their activities cannot be accounted for.
In Kumasi, Greater Kumasi, we are 11,600 and something. It's more than 65% are not part of the union. So when you go to the authority and complain it to them, they will tell that it's normal because even the constitution has given them that authority. But any member that is part of us, the moment you see the person, you can show or you can equally see that, oh, this person at least he is fully oriented and he has gone through training for him to be able to drive a tricycle. Even our identity card that we did for our members does it. So now any person who belongs to our association is having this card as an identity.
City is appealing to authorities to make orientation and driver-centered education programs available to equip tricycle riders.
The way forward is our people need a lot of orientations and training. You see, more often some of them will go to the DVLA for their licensing without any proper orientation and training, and they will just issue the card to them. So these are all part of the situation that we are facing. We are still pleading with the authority of the Metropolitan Assembly to give us some chance. We are still negotiating with them, but we are still pleading with them to just give us a chance and see. They will see a new Pragya drivers, not the ones they know earlier. Yeah, for now, at least we have arranged ourselves. Our data is ready.
Reporting for JoyNews, Clinton.
And here in the studios, you're watching The Pulse with me, Blessed Sugan. We're taking a quick breather here. When we return, we'll tell you more about the Transformational Agenda series. Please stay here on the JoyNews channel. And you're welcome back. And indeed, Transformational Agenda series is on your favorite channel, the JoyNews channel, every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Is the reason for which, of course, in studio with us now is Abraham Edu, host of the Transformational Agenda. Of course, you've seen the promo telling us what the program is seeking to achieve and the work being done by the Education Ministry in transforming the education sector. It's a good time to be talking to you, Bishop Akwaaba.
It's a pleasure, Akwaaba.
Right. So let's talk about the Transformation Agenda series. We've seen the Education Minister go around some schools, but I'm sure that it's beyond just the Education Minister, but talking entirely about the education sector. Why is the Transformation Agenda series necessary?
Thank you very much. I want to say good afternoon to our cherished viewers. Congratulations. He tells me to tell you he likes what you're doing, and he acknowledges the fact that you are promoting the Transformation Agenda, especially your engagement with social media, trying to put a show live on Facebook. It helps, and we get a feedback, and we use that in trying to find out the bits and pieces of the things that we need to do to improve education in this country. Of course, the Transformation Agenda series on education is a baby of the Minister for Education, Honorable Dr. Yao Seduchum. You will realize that he has been engaged with a lot of media houses. He's a media friendly. He moves to media houses and tries to engage with Ghanaians, trying to explain what is really going on so that we are all on the same ladder in terms of education. Every country will develop through education. And so what we did was to go around schools, which the mandate that he gave us, to go around schools and find out what is happening in this country. Of course, we will talk about challenges that we have as a nation, but the President, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, prioritizing education, making education the centerpiece of administration, has invested so much into the education sector. And it is important for us to show Ghanaians exactly what is happening in the education sector. A lot is going on that, but the Minister believes that Ghanaians seeing what we are achieving as a country, first of all, encourages us as a nation. He will tell you that we are not where we want to be, but certainly not where we used to be.
I see. But that brings into question, the extent to which government is transforming the education sector. You've been around the country. What sort of impact are these policies having on people?
Powerful. For example, let's look at the universities, for example. We had previously, you have to be a science student to be able to get into the engineering field. It's no longer the same as it used to be. Today we have a pre-engineering program that leads you into the engineering program to have a degree. So you go through first year pre-engineering program, and then after that you are enrolled into the engineering program. This has helped people who don't have science backgrounds, like people who are students of general arts, economics, what we call agric, and all these people, artists, visual art students who come together, go through the process for 1 year and do that. You look at free senior high school policy, for example, that has really impacted so many lives. You go to the schools and some of the students you speak to, you realize that if not for free senior high school, they wouldn't be in the secondary school. It has really transformed lives of people. Go into our TVET centers. I heard the deputy director for TVET talk about the fact that government has invested about $12 billion into the TVET sector. We were at Abetifi, we went to Kibi Technical Institute, we went to Abetifi, we've gone to the Applied Technical Institute, Technology Institute at East Legon. Go and see the equipment that are there.
And that's why it's good that we're having this conversation, because what you're doing is to also get onto the ground and speak to some of the students, other stakeholders. I'm sure you've been interacting with them. What are we going to see in the next coming days as to how receptive or otherwise stakeholders have been of the kind of policies the Education Ministry has been running?
Well, of course, if you look at the documentaries that we're running, we try to engage stakeholders. We have engaged with teachers, parents, and students themselves. We've spoken to all of them, and they are really in touch with the ministry's programs. And you look at the students themselves. I believe strongly, if you look at our documentaries that we're going to be showing, you will see that in the next 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years, we're going to have students that will not be seeking for employment, but already employed, because they are coming out with skills and they have the knowledge to do a lot of things. You look at STEM Innovation that we organized recently, and you realize that most of the students, these are students that are given the opportunity to come out with skills, innovations that are supposed to help solve some of the challenges that we have in this country. So I believe that together, bringing everybody together on board, gives us that opportunity to show to Ghanaians exactly what this country is heading towards. And I believe in the next 5 years, we're going to see massive transformation.
Where have you been to? Where would the CS end? And is this just the start of many more of the showcasing of activities to come?
Yes, of course. The minister believes that, the Transformation Agenda series is actually for the Ministry of Education, trying to tell Ghanaians, show Ghanaians what we are doing as a country in the education sector. Right. So we are gradually heading towards the level where we are able to tell the Ghanaian exactly what is happening in the education sector. So it is not about, we may not say that we have a lifespan to it. It's just going to go forward and showing Ghanaians exactly the things that are happening in our schools and how it's going to transform the entire country.
And speaking of the Education Ministry itself, the Sector Minister, Dr. Yao Aduchun, has come under a sharp focus in the series. What kind of a role has he played in pushing this agenda?
Well, of course, I started by saying that is his baby, right? Now, the Minister for Education has been, the centerpiece of this whole program. Of course, when we do the recordings and we come, he has time to sit and watch the video and make commendations and tell us, do this, do that, and that, put it all together. He has been engineering this program. He actually tells us go to this school. And one of the beautiful things about this documentary we run is that we go to these schools, pick up the videos, we come. Some schools may have certain challenges. It's through this video that is able to identify some of those challenges. For example, you go to a school, bring the recording, he watches and says, these chairs are not good for this student. These beds are not good.
Oh, really? He does that?
Oh, yes, he does. And one beautiful thing about the Minister for Education, Dr. Yao said, which means that he solves problems just as they come before him. So you go, he watches while he's watching the video, he's making calls, he's calling teachers. We went to one school with a similar situation. By the time we left the school, 15 minutes, the headmistress had called me that people have been called to come and solve the problem within 15 minutes after we left there. So he's really been supportive of this program. Of course, it's his baby and his idea. And so he doesn't play with it.
So what sort of an impact would you want this series to leave on parents and members of the general public who in the coming days be watching this on the JoyNews channel?
Of course, I would like every Ghanaian who is watching this program to understand one thing, that your children that are in school are not just being fed with, excuse my language, as we say, junk meals. They are being fed well with the requisite knowledge. We are in the 21st century. The child who is in class 2 in Ghana is going to compete with that child who is in Japan, the US, who is also in the same level. And so if we don't speed up our education system, if we don't get into the sciences like the president would want us to do, and we don't do that, we're going to find ourselves in a situation where you have students that are not fit for the global market. And so what the government has done is to put all these things together and trying to make sure that the child that is going through the school is being taught the right things. They have the right equipment. You go to the labs that we have built and realize that experiments that they are running, the same experiment that have been running in first-class schools and all these things. So this is actually to tell the parents that, look, we have a good system in this country that is working. Students are doing very well. They are being taught well. For example, in 2022, the whole of West Africa, we had the first and second best student coming from Ghana. If you go to a school like Mampon Presby, we had this, the pass rate, students that are getting to the university in 2021, 5.3, and 2022 is shot up to 57.3. So it tells you that something good is happening. And so Ghanaians should just know that the education ministry hasn't failed.
Will you be highlighting the challenges as well? Because, the feeling is, well, you're saying Transformation Agenda series, transformation should come with a true reflection of the challenges the sector is facing, so the authorities are able to deal with it. Okay,
so all right. So the minister tells a story about a man who a teacher who drew on the board a black spot on a white, surface, and he asked the student what they see, and all the students were talking about the black spot and forgetting about the white area. I started by telling you that if you go to the schools to take up these documentaries, there are issues that we get information as to this is not right, has to be dealt with. The moment we come, he does not just watch the documentary, he tries to solve some of these problems. So we may not come on the television to show maybe a school chair that is, zigzag or whatever, but then those problems that are seen are actually worked on by the minister. None of those things. If you go to a school and we see that there's an issue, that is what he tells us to do. We report to him and he's able to deal with all those things.
Policy measures. How is this transformative or transformation agenda series going to deal with that? By first of all creating a platform to take feedback and also listen to what it is that government intends to do in the coming days. Are you highlighting that as well?
We are doing that. Of course, like I started by telling you, your channel does so well by putting the program on Facebook. So we have, and if you watch the documentary, there's a number that's on the screen. We receive feedback. And one beautiful thing is that as at the time that program is being shown, the phone that phone is with me. The moment a message comes on the phone, I forward it immediately to the minister. He responds immediately. That's how he works. So we are trying to ensure that people also understand.
So you're giving real-time solution to the feedback that...
Yes, of course. Every information, everyone at the minister's secretariat, right. As soon as information is received, if you have been with the minister before, at any point in time, you go before him, you are talking about a challenge. He doesn't say go and come. Immediately as you're talking, he calls whoever is responsible. That's how he solves problems. So as we receive the feedback, he's in the know. He knows everything about whatever we are doing. So the feedback is actually helping us to also understand what is happening in there. Remember that when he visited the schools, one of the reasons for which he visited the school was to have a first-hand information, the reality of issues. So visiting such schools gives him the opportunity to know exactly what is on the back, at the back. I mean, not allowing someone to come and tell him the story, but he goes to see it himself.
Of course, the Ministry of Education is a very big institution. There are other agencies under the Ministry, the Ghana Education Service, and other agencies. Are all these agencies aligned, and will they be featured as well?
Of course, yes. The transformational agenda is 360-degree kind of a thing. We have send laws. We feature send laws. We have videos that are going to be shown on send laws. We have other organizations. We have GEOP. We have Gallup. We have several programs and interventions and agencies. We have dealt with NASIA. We have dealt with several agencies that are under the ministry. We dealt with NACA, of course. And so some of these agencies are also going to come on board and tell us some of the achievements that they've done. We recently did a documentary on Nelly, which will also be shown. So you have all these agencies that are under the Ministry of Education that are also coming on board to really expose to Ghanaians.
Right.
Exactly.
Really exciting times ahead. Ibrahim, if there's a message that you want to leave our viewers with, what would that be?
All right. So I would like to first of all thank the Honourable Minister, Dr. Yawase Duchum, who is also the MP for Parliamentary constituency. He's been a very great leader. Of course, you heard the president say he's one of the best appointments that he's made as president. He's done so, and I just want to say thank you very much, Honorable Dr. Yao Seiduchum. And also, I want to tell Ghanaians that this country is really, really, really moving forward in the area of education. We should be grateful for God. I want to thank the President for all that he's doing for this country. And I believe that in the coming days, Ghanaians are going to see this documentary and appreciate what we have achieved as a nation. Thank you very much.
Grateful. Ibrahim Edu, host of Transformation Agenda series here on the JoyNews channel. Tuesdays, right? Yes. Tuesdays, 6:30 p.m. on the JoyNews channel. You'd be watching all of the policy interventions in the area of education. Let's stay on education because the head teacher for the Buankra MA Primary and Junior High School in the Ejisu municipality of the Ashanti region has bemoaned the low enrollment of pupils in the school despite having all the necessary infrastructure with standard school blocks and quality teachers. The school, which should have over 200 students, now boasts of only 97 students. Head teacher Kojo Frimpong says parents in the community prioritize farming with their awards over education. Nana Boachi Yadom visited the community and now reports.
Buankra is a farming community in the Ejisu municipality of the Ashanti region. The community's basic and junior high school with all necessary infrastructure should accommodate over 200 students. However, the total population of the school currently is 97. According to the head teacher of the school, Kojo Frimpong, parents prefer farming with their wards to enrolling them in school.
When I came, I saw that some students are not coming to school. So I went to the community, to a nice palace, and I met with the PT and SMC. We discussed so many things, and what I realized was that the people are taking to farming activities instead of coming to school. They are not coming to school because of the farming activity that their parents are doing. So they normally go to farming instead of coming to school.
Mr. Frimpong says although the school has had intensive engagement with the community, it still records low enrollment.
I've been moving around, seeing the stakeholders in the community, especially the chiefs and the SMC. Even I normally go to information centers, making announcements for them to come to school instead of going to farming. I normally go to information centers, telling the community that the essence of education, they should send their wards to school because nowadays a time will come, there will be no farming for them to do.
Break time, please. Ordinarily, this should be a JHS Block B, but now it falls part of the 5 classroom blocks empty. You can see students inside this particular classroom going to buy food, all because absenteeism has triggered school authorities to convert this room into a dining hall.
A resident who spoke to JoyNews on her way to the farm says the current economic challenges compel parents to send their wards to the farm. It's all about money. Parents don't have money, including myself. I want to send my child to school, but I don't have money.
Aban school so there enka free ana aduane die.
Free on emom enyoma obeto to no.
Government school is indeed free, but the things we have to buy alone is another issue on its own. That is why some parents don't send their wards to school.
Because
Buankra Odikro Nana Nyama Abebio appealed to the community members to enroll their wards in the school to avert breeding hooligans in the community.
The children in this community are stubborn. They gamble a lot because they don't go to school. I plead with parents to talk to their children because we really need them in school.
For additional school no.
For JoyNews, Nana Boache Dankwa Yadom, Masim.
And now the Tema Oil Refinery Board has denied any wrongdoing in the lease arrangement with the Tema Energy and Processing Limited, formerly known as Torenco. The deal is now a subject of investigations by the Office of the Special Prosecutor and has now been suspended following a petition by the General Transport, Petroleum and Chemical Workers Union of TUC. We hear from its chairperson when he joins us right here on the show. First, let's establish why TOR is such an important strategic entity for the country. We know that the Tema Oil Refinery has been a subject of a number of controversy, but TOR, or the oil refinery, of course, is the premier oil refinery here in the country, authorized by the regulators to process crude oil and market petroleum products. The company was incorporated in December 1960 and was originally known as the Ghanaian Italian Petroleum Company. The company now is facing a number of challenges, including liquidity problems, a reason for which attempts have been made by successive governments to make a turnaround for TOR, but that has not worked over this period, a reason for which the Torenco deal has also been a subject of controversy. Well, joining us now is the National Chairperson of the General Transport, Petroleum and Chemical Workers Union of TUC, Bernard Owusu. Joining us now to share his thoughts on this very deal. Thank you, sir, for spending some time with us. Now we know that the Office of the Special Prosecutor has made a pronouncement on this, effectively halting the process. What do you have to say about, the drastic change in, what is being targeted to be, an intervention that could have turned around the fortunes of the Tema Oil Refinery?
First of all, let me thank you for having me on your show, and also thank you to your cherished viewers. Every reasonable person will ask similar questions. That why is it that the union is up and arm against a potential investor? It's true, but the fact of the matter is that from day one, all questions that we've raised in relation to this agreement has not been answered. And as we speak now, the Office of the Special Prosecutor is now investigating the Torenco deal. The Attorney General has come out clearly to vindicate our position earlier on, saying that the Torenco Energy Limited is a company without any track record. It's a company that has no financial capabilities and no technical know-how. And their intent is just to come and take over TOR without any proper investment. And we see this as a danger to the country.
Okay, and now we know, and just as the Office of the Special Prosecutor has intervened, that process will be on hold for now. What do you intend to do during this period of truce, if we should call it that way?
Well, if you see the posture, or if you monitor the posture of the board, they seem to even rubbish the Office of the Special Prosecutor and even the Attorney General with their response to the media. Clearly, they are not perturbed about what the Attorney General is saying, what the Office of the Special Prosecutor is saying. But as workers' representatives, we will not allow it, and we will do whatever it takes within the law to stop this, fraudulent deal.
As workers, what more do you intend to do in the coming days by way of registering your concerns with this Torenco deal?
For instance, we are putting our legal teams together. We intend going to court, and the last resort is to embark on a sit-down strike, nationwide strike, and we'll have solidarity from all of our affiliates to ensure that this deal will not go through.
Is it that you are entirely averse to this planned restructuring, as some are calling it, of Tema Oil Refinery, which will then inure to your own benefit as workers? That's the belief, that the management is seeking further interventions and also more investments just to turn around the refinery.
Well, we are not against government or management trying to get investors in investing in Tema Refinery. What we are saying that the current Torenco deal has no basis, or their credibility is in doubt. They have no track record whatsoever. So we don't understand why they want to hand over to such group of people. And mind you, my brother, this group of people have changed their name from one company to another. The other day, the name was Decimal Capital. From Decimal Capital to Beige Bridge, from Beige Bridge to Torenco. Now we have Tema Energy Processing Company Limited, which was formed in August 2023. So, my brother, clearly this company cannot be trusted.
If the Office of the Special Prosecutor, after its exercise, decides to clear the arrangement, tagging it as clean, will you accept any outcome and possibly the way forward?
Well, I doubt it. The checks and the due diligence that we've done, I doubt they can pass any strict proof when it comes to what you call the refinery business, because initially they submitted themselves to PPA, and PPA threw them off. So I don't know which authority in Ghana here that can, be assertive to this, what you call, deal. And clearly, the company Torenco, with what the Attorney General has even brought out, clearly shows that they don't even have the track record. And they don't even have, in law, per the Attorney General, it's unlawful. Whatever they are doing is unlawful. So how can a company that is not having what you call legal backing, we can give such a company such opportunity to run a state asset at Tema Refinery? So I doubt the special prosecutor will clear them.
Do you have any sort of alternative at all as to how TOR could be back on its feet, particularly knowing that you haven't put that out in the media, a reason for which many are wondering if you're simply just antagonizing private investment or indeed you have the solutions? Where are they?
As a union, we are not against private investment in Tema Refinery. And please, this should be on record, that any company that the government or the management of TOR will engage, and that company is credible, the union will fully support them. And if you go through our record as General Transport, Petroleum and Chemical Workers Union, we are the first union that organized even a press conference calling on the management of TOR and the board to ensure that they get in a private investor to Tema Refinery. So we are not against it. What we are against is this kind of fraudulent thing that the current board and the current management are trying to do. This is what we are against. We are not against any investment into the refinery. No, we are not against of it.
Bernard, also, thanks for spending some time with us. Grateful. And you're still with us here on the Pulse on the JoyNews channel. We're taking a break here. When we return, we'll also talk about the EcoBank JoyNews Habitat Fair. And so, of course, as we know it, it's rain discounts. And if you missed it, perhaps it's time to just catch up. Maybe you could make a follow-up on some of the deals. You never know. We'll be right back. And now the 2024 EcoBank JoyNews Habitat Fair will cover more regions. That's according to the General Manager in charge of marketing at the Multimedia Group, David Masfuga. Many patrons walked away on Sunday with up to a 70% discount on everything housing. Our first-timer exhibitors say they are more than excited about patronage. Maxwell Agbagba was there in our report.
They came, they saw and enjoyed the big discounts on offer, with Comet's Properties giving as much as 70% discounts on its serviced plots. Our patrons were definitely spoiled for choice. Here are some of them.
My name is Abuaji.
Okay.
Yes, I'm here on the final day. I've not been here for long, but so far so good. With just a few stands visited, you have a lot of range, whether from land or the construction or everything that you need. And it's much better than going from place to place in Accra with all the hustle and traffic and what have you. So it's a great show. I've been coming for a couple of years now, and I'm sure I'll keep coming.
My name is Tieku, and Joy Habitat Fair is a big fair. I've been coming every year, and it's a good thing. I love it. I pray that in future it will grow big and big and big, so that more people will see what we have here in Ghana, so that we can network. That's my belief.
I see you have a lot of leaflets and stuff.
Yes, like I do every year. I've collected some few brochures and I've bought some few items too. So I will.
You'll be calling
them, yes, and then do some purchase. Even my plumber will follow up, God willing, tomorrow for some few plumbing shops that I've met, and then we'll go for their product as well.
Frida. Yeah, I like what I see. I think it's a very good exhibition. Yeah, I think you should continue because it brings a lot of people together and you can be able to make your choices here.
I have been an ardent follower of the EcoBank JoyNews Habitat Fair. I think from 2018, where it was organized at the Providence Event Center at Trade Fair. I've been following you, even for the mini clinics and all that.
Wow.
And then I'm always looking out for the grand one.
Wow.
And that's why I'm here today. And I like this year's theme. And I think there are very juicy offers around. Looking for a property so I can also take decisions on other things. It's a one-stop shop, and that is what gladdens my heart. Ordinarily, it would be difficult for you to go through all these companies based on where they are located in this heavy traffic in Accra. So, Joy FM, kudos.
Real estate investment opportunities in Ghana, and sometimes due to busy schedule, it's hard for me to explore. So, being here, I've been able to meet a number of real estate developers that have lucrative opportunities. I'm always looking for land opportunities, buildings to build, and all of that. So it's been a great opportunity.
The exhibitors were also excited with the big sales and exchange of contacts. Here are some of our first timers.
Yes, so this is Swami India Ghana Limited. We are the owners of Springfield Estates. We have Springfield Estates, we have Paradise Estates, we have Solaris Apartments, and we have Solarium Apartments.
Okay, where's Springfield Estate located?
We are located in Pram Pram.
Pram Pram, okay.
Yes, we are not far from the Mutual Junction. Yes, it's been amazing. We've had a couple of leads here. People have come. We've also got to understand the markets, how the market is running in Ghana now.
Through the interaction with our patrons.
Yes, through the interactions, and also you had some symposiums talking about land acquisitions, and it's been very educative, I must.
How is it going so far?
Oh, by God's grace, we are doing very well. Since Thursday we've been here, we've got a lot of customers, got a lot of calls to come over to their site to do their measurement. Really.
I don't know if you've seen that video of the former Black Stars captain, Stephen Appiah, saying they are calling. They are calling.
Everybody's calling. My line.
Everybody's calling. You're like.
We thank to Joy FM and EcoBank for having this fair this year. Yeah. We are very grateful for that. Yeah.
Okay, great. ABS Glazing, are you giving any discounts to our patrons?
A very good discount from now to the end of the year, up to 15% discount on all our products.
Yeah. So very brief remarks from Mr. Edu, one of our partners, Cities and Habitats. You've been with us for about 3 years now. Thank you for the collaboration. You give us some brief remarks.
As always, we have quite a number of people passing through, expressing interest, and quite a number end up signing on. We have no regrets at all for the Planned Cities Extension Project or Cities and Habitats. Our association with the Multimedia Group and JoyNews, Joy FM and the other platforms have been extremely and immensely beneficial.
Next, we want to take some brief remarks from our Sales and Customer Service General Manager. When I say that, I mean Multimedia Sales and Customer Service General Manager, Mr. Max Fuga. Please, let's appreciate him with a round of applause.
I can assure you that the next edition, we're going to add 2 more regions. Mr. Edu has already added 1, so we'll add the second one. And of course, we'll add some international touch to it. So Habitat Fair 2024 will be bigger and better. And again, we'll cover more regions than we did this year. On behalf of the management of the multimedia team, and of course, the organizers, and particularly those who made it possible for us, our sponsors, our partners, and of course, all of you. We say a very big thank you to you for making this year's edition a successful one.
Some of the exhibitors were presented with awards and certificates of participation.
My name is Lokesh Ingorani. I'm the General Manager for Aquaflow Systems Limited. Okay, so what we do is we basically deal in water purification machines for domestic and commercial use. We are the agents for Kent RO Systems for Ghana. And this brand is actually from India. In fact, in India, this is the #1 brand that is used in almost every home. Yeah, so basically what it does is it purifies your water for you. There are filters behind this machine which filters your water for you. There's a UV system, RO system also for bowl, but this one specifically is for Ghana water. That's your normal tap water. So what you normally do is that you connect your valve to this, to your inlet tap, and then it comes with these hoses. Then you connect them to your machine. Basically, we fix in the kitchen because that's where we normally drink our water from for cooking as well. So the water passes through this way, enters into the machine, filters the water for you, passes through the UV, which kills all the germs and bacteria. And then it comes to store in here for your drinking and for cooking. So what you do is that if you want to drink, you just take your glass and then fill it to the brim, and then you just drink it. And you're good to go. So we have 2 types of machines. We have for our normal municipal water, which is the Ghana water, and then we have for our borehole, which is the RO, that's the reverse osmosis process. You know, there's salt in the water underground. So we have the RO system, which is called the reverse osmosis system, which takes out the salt, and then it gives you the purified water to drink. We have for commercial use, which is for factories and for offices. Those ones are huge, with a huge capacity of water storage. This one has a storage tank of 9 liters, but then with the commercial ones, you have up to 40 liters, of the storage. So that one gives water to a large number of people. We have 2 types of machines. We have for RO, that's for your borehole, and then for your normal Ghana water. The reason is that, because of the salt content in the borehole water, so we have the machine type, which is known as the reverse osmosis process. That one goes to the filtration process and then takes out the salt from the water and then gives you your purified water. Yeah, but then with the normal Ghana water machines, you can just purify directly and then you get your storage, your water to drink. Now with this one, we have a 9-liter storage tank, and this one produces up to 20 liters an hour. That is, as you keep on drinking, then it keeps on producing for you, and it can produce up to 20 liters per hour. That's the capacity that it can produce. And then with the commercial ones, we have 40-liter tanks, and it can produce up to 100 liters an hour. That is, as people are drinking and it keeps on refilling, it can refill up to 100 liters per hour. That is, if it's not properly consumed.
But what is the competitive advantage of these machines compared to bottled and sachet water?
With the bottled and sachet water, you can never trust the source where it's coming from. And because they are stored in these plastics, it creates a chemical reaction from the plastic. So, but with this one, You have your pure, fresh mineral water coming through your tap, and then you have it here fresh, stored for you, so you can always take it whenever you want fresh. And it's very cost effective because when you compare it with the number of cartons, or let's say water you consume within a year, to what you pay for just changing the filters for this year, you will find out it is very, very convenient and economical. Yeah, so I would advise that you go in for this one for your health benefits and then also for your economic benefits. Filters are being changed once a year, and servicing is being done twice a year for the RO machines, and then once a year for the normal water machine. We have this one which is called the sediment filter. This one gets hold of all the dust. This one is normally placed first before any of the other filters are placed, so that it will get hold of the dust or any dirt from the water before getting into the machine. And now this is what we call the inline carbon filter. This one enhances the taste of the water, so that if there's any bad taste or any bad smell in the water, when it passes through the carbon filter, then it enhances the taste to give it a very good taste. Now this one is the post-carbon filter. This one is normally for the RO machines, the reverse osmosis for the borehole. Once it passes through these filtration, then this one enhances the taste more, because with the salt water, there's too much of salt in it, and the taste is very strong. So after it goes through this process, then it also passes to the post-carbon filter to enhance the taste even better. Our servicing process is such that we have a record of our clients that we keep, and then the schedule as to when the servicing is due. So what we do is that we call the clients and then we inform them that, okay, your machine is due for servicing, your machine is due for filter change. When do you want us to come and then get it done for you? So according to what the client will tell us, then we schedule with them, and then we go and do it for them. They don't have to bring the machine over here for us to service for them. We go to them so that it will be convenient for them, from 1,300 cedis going. And then when you compare that price to buying bottled water in a year, you will see that the 1,300 is nowhere close to spending on bottled water you buy per year annually.
Who can really take advantage of these innovative products?
Normally we are targeting the families, individuals, and also commercial industries like the banking sector, the mining sector, and then the industrial sector. With the mining sector, because these days the source of water in the mining areas are very dirty and stuff. So with the RO system, we can easily dig deep into the ground to get the pure borehole water and then get it filtered for them to drink. With the banking sector, they can just take a commercial machine, plug it to their source of water, then it will just be giving them straight purified water straight from the tap to drink. So there will be no need for them to also, get the dispensers to put the plastic storage water on top. Like I said earlier on, with the plastic, you can always get chemical reactions from the water. So with this one, we have a storage tank, hot and cold. They can always drink, and then it gives them purified water. The key features that the machine comes with, that it has under-the-counter design with hydrostatic storage tank, which is being sold separately. That one, you fix it under your sink for the storage tank to be filled. And then it has a purification by RO, UV and UF plus TDS control, which means that the RO is the reverse osmosis system. The UV is the light which kills all the bacteria and viruses. The UF is the ultrafiltration, which gives extra filtration, and then the TDS control is what controls the salt level or the TDS level in the water. That's the amount of minerals that it is supposed to use, and it shouldn't go beyond 120. It should be between 75 and 120. That should be the TDS level. And then it also comes with a filter change alarm, so that even if your filters are not yet due, once the alarm blows in it, then it will notify you that servicing needs to be done or the filters need to be changed. And then it has a purification production rate of 15 liters per hour. The storage tank itself is 9 liters, but then it has the capacity to produce 15 liters of water per hour on consumption. These machines have been certified by NSF and then Water Quality Platinum Seal, among other international certified organizations, which gives a top standard for these machines. So we have ranging from 2,500 cedis, well, that's the domestic type, to like 4,000. And then with the commercial type, we have from 10,000 to 13,000 cedis. We have some flexible payment systems, and we also give discounts if you are buying it cash instantly. We are giving 10% discount on ready cash. And then if you want to have a payment plan, then you pay 50% down, and then the remaining 50% you pay it in 3 months installments. For customers that will visit us at the Habitat Fair, we are giving them an offer of 10% discount plus free installation of the machines. Yeah, and then 1-year warranty as well. So in case of any minor problems or issues, we can always come to them and then we work it out on them for free for the first 1 year. Well, our first Habitat Fair was at Tema, and in fact, it was a very good experience because we met a lot of people. We connected with a lot of people with, from different backgrounds, and also with the real estate developers. And because this one is connected to real estate, so we had a very good connection with them, and then we had good links as well. And we've also been able to make good sales from the clients that came to the fair. Oh, a whole lot of expectations. We are ready we are expecting to meet new people, and then also be able to interact with people from the real estate industry, because this is where we believe that our machine can really work and then sell out. If you think you're going to miss this Habitat Fair, then you better think twice, because this is where you'll have a life-changing experience. Not only in real estate, but also in your health, in your consumption of getting purified water, and many other experiences that you'll ever have. So never ever miss out this Habitat Fair. So once they come to the fair, they can just look out for this name, Aquaflow Systems Limited. That's where our stand would be. Otherwise, we are located at Adabraka, behind the police station on the Chatfield Street. And our contact number is 024 3161. I repeat, 024 3161 300.
And what an amazing weekend it has been at the EcoBank JoyNews Habitat Fair. You still have that opportunity to reach out to all of the exhibitors and our partners supporting us throughout the journey. Well, let me now introduce you to a Ghanaian making waves on the international stage. Jose Boateng is a passionate healthcare professional with more than 5 years of experience to hospital administration and operation, having worked in the New York Presbyterian Hospital and also the Henry Ford healthcare system. In addition to his professional endeavors, Jose is a founder of the DKB Hope Foundation, a non-profit organization that is deeply committed to bringing healthcare services to remote and underserved communities here in Ghana. He's been nominated for the CNN Heroes Award of the Year, and he is part of the 10 finalists. We need to, of course, bring him in now and find out how he's been doing, and of course, how he's hoping to clinch on to victory. Thank you for joining us here on The Pulse. First of all, congratulations are in order. How do you feel about being nominated this year?
Yeah, so really, really excited to be part of this Heroes Award. It gives us the opportunity to share our story and also to let people learn more about the work that we are doing, and also get the support to expand the work that we are doing in rural and underserved communities in Ghana.
Did you see this coming?
No, I didn't see this coming. So actually, it was a nomination. Someone nominated us for this. So actually, I didn't see that coming until CNN called me and said that they want to learn more about the work that I'm doing, and that after they did the due diligence, that they have selected me to be part of the program.
How are you hoping to use this, at least if it's not the ultimate victory, the nomination alone, to influence change in your community?
Yeah, definitely. I want to leverage this exposure to, first of all, get strategic partnerships to expand the work that we are doing. I know that the work that we are doing is huge, is big, and I need more people to come to help support the work that we are doing and bring healthcare to these rural and underserved communities.
Any message for, anxious fans, Ghanaians who are watching us right now? What would you want them to know about your endeavor?
Yeah, so one thing that I would like to let them know is that now that we are part of the first 10 competing for the CNN Hero of the Year award, everything is dependent on public voting. And so I would really need their votes in order to get the CNN Hero of the Year, which comes with additional resources. And also voting is free, and also voting can be done every day till December 5th. And individuals can go on the cnnheroes.com, search for my name, Osei Boateng, and vote for me every day until December 5th. And as I said, everything now is dependent on the public voting, and the people that we are serving don't have the smartphones, don't have the electricity to
Indeed.
be voting. So they are depending on you guys to be able to vote on their behalf so that we can get the resources.
Right, and anyone who's been following the work of the OKB Hope Foundation will know that indeed you're doing a great job. We wish you all the best. Osei Boateng, thank you for joining us here on The Pulse, and we wish you all the best. We're hoping Ghanaians will equally go out there in their numbers to support your work. Grateful for your time here on The Pulse. And of course, marijuana is one of the most abused substances in West Africa from 2020 to 2022, accounting for some 62% for all illicit drugs seized in the SAMP region. That's according to the West African Epidemiology Network on Drugs Use report on illicit drug supply and use. The report also reviewed some pharmaceutical opioids that is tramadol and also codeine being amongst the largest opioids abuse in the SAMP region. There's more in this report.
Finding is that marijuana is the most abused illicit drug. And this is no news because it has been so. But one thing that this report has come out with is the diversion of people from incarceration to drug treatment. Previously, we saw that people who use drugs were put into jail, prison. In fact, some people went to jail for about 5 years for smoking 1 joint of marijuana. So let's understand it this way. We have about 4 categories when it comes to the drug menace. We have people who use drugs. Then we have people who are addicted or who have drug use disorders. Then we have people who traffic in it. That is for the money. So these 3 people, and then we have people who have never used it before. So they are the 4th people. The first group who have never used before, you prevent them. The second group who are using, but they are not addicted yet, you continue educating them and try to show them the consequences. The third group, who are the traffickers, these are the people that you have to arrest and put into jail because they are just living on other people's life. He introduced the drugs because he knows you will be addicted, and when you are addicted, he can get all your money because you buy. Even if you don't want to buy, you are addicted. And then when you are spoiling or destroying your life, he is getting money. These are the people that we have to go after. So we have to make distinction between drug traffickers and drug users. For drug traffickers, we should go after them, let the law enforcement takes it usual operations or whatever, and then get them. And when you get them, put them in jail or do whatever. But for those who are victims, those who are using, you don't need to. You have to find a way to treat them. Okay, and somebody says that if nobody's using, nobody will also traffic. So maybe that's the way we should go so that we reduce the demand. And when we reduce the demand, the supply may also be reduced.
Interesting. And that's all we have for you in this package of The Pulse. And this is when we'll see you again tomorrow. That's all we have for you in this package of The Pulse. Until then, log on to myjoyonline.com. Updates there for you. Thanks for your company. All right.